Center of Excellence has a duty to lead. Welcome, dear viewers, to another episode of State on Focus, a program that enlightens you on the projects, policies, and programs of the Lagos State government. I am your host, Jamel Abdullahi, and this evening we embark on a captivating exploration of one of nature's most versatile and intriguing creations, coconut, a symbol of tropical allure and a treasure trove of sustenance, culture, and innovation. Certainly, agriculture remains the hinge of human survival, with the majority of the resources given by nature. Currently in Nigeria, coconut farming is one of the most profitable cash crop ventures, which gives an attractive investment return. Lagos State is not only the largest coconut producing state in Nigeria, but it also contributes over 70% of what the nation produces. With over 300 products derived from coconuts, the value chain has become a fast-growing economy. To tap into this and develop the crop for sustainable coconut production and commercialization in local and export markets, the Lagos State government established the Lagos State Coconut Development Authority, LASCODA. Today on the program, join me as I welcome the General Manager of LASCODA, Mr. Oladapo Olakunleyin, to shed more light on the activities of the agency and the economic value of coconuts. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sir, we start with the decision to create the agency, which was informed that the fact that coconut is the main cash crop of Lagos State, and also the state has a comparative advantage for its production, processing, and utilization. Can you explain the core mandate of LASCODA?
Thank you very much. The core mandate of the authority, that is Lagos State Coconut Development Authority, LASCODA, is to promote the production, the processing, the utilization, and commercialization of coconut products in all ramifications. So when you're talking about commercialization too, it's part of our mandate to promote that commercialization both for export and local market. That is the core mandate of the authority, to promote coconut value chain in all ramifications.
Since its inception, we are looking at the collaborative efforts the agency has made. Let's talk about the collaborative effort and its partnership. Who are they and what has been the relationship been like?
Thank you very much. I will talk about those that we have partnered with in the past and those that we are currently partnering with now. Now, when you are talking of those that we have partnered with in the past, you are talking of Nigeria Institute of Oil Palm Research, NIFO, in NIFO, that is at Benin City. They have mandate for coconut production and utilization. They have the research components of anything coconut in Nigeria. So we have a very warm collaboration with NIFO.
Still on this collaborative effort, are we to expect any event, or what is the end result of this collaboration with these agencies? What are those things that we should expect from the collaboration?
Thank you very much. We've been collaborating with both private and public institutions, as you have rightly said. Some of the institutions that we are collaborating and that we have collaborated with include Nigeria Institute of Oil Palm Research in Benin City, that is NIFO. We are also collaborating with Raw Material Research Institute, Raw Material Research and Development Council of Nigeria, in terms of utilization of coconut products. NIFO is basically on research. Apart from that, we have so many NGOs that we are collaborating with, particularly the Rotary Club, Lion Club. There are so many of them that we are collaborating with. In terms of for private sector, there are so many private sectors that we are collaborating with. We have the Tolerance of this world that we are collaborating, all to promote coconut value chain. Then the NDAs of Lagos State government, so many, LASPAC, we are collaborating with LASPAC, the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, we are collaborating with them, because you know, when you are talking of coconut, it goes with tourism immediately. What comes to your mind is tourism. So we are collaborating with them. We are also collaborating with the Ministry of the Environment, both at the national level and at the state level, because by the time we get to that place, you know that coconut plays a lot of role in terms of what we are doing in the environment. So we are collaborating with a lot of both private and public sector. Most importantly, and of recent, we are collaborating with Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, which is an international organization, international donor agency. So those are some of the institutions we are collaborating with.
For a young boy or girl that is interested in coconut production and farming, are there things you use to attract them? What are those plans you have for them in terms of training, capacity building and all?
Thank you very much. I want us to first of all define who is a farmer. In agri space now, the definition of who is a farmer has moved beyond the person that is cultivating. So when you are talking of who is a farmer, you are talking of the person that is producing the coconut, the person that is processing, and the person that is marketing the coconut. So along these three pillars that I've mentioned, even the service provider, we consider them as farmers too. So the same thing applies to coconut. When you have people that are producing, you have some people that are also processing, and we have people that are specialized in marketing. All these categories of people, we consider them as farmers, as long as coconut is concerned. Now, what do we use to attract them? Now, there are so many things that we are using to attract them, that we are encouraging people to come into coconut space. So when we are talking of attraction now, I'm not talking of attracting them to coconut cultivation alone. I'm talking of attracting them to coconut processing and coconut marketing. And even in coconut cultivation, for example, our youths, if you don't have land and you are not ready to wait for 2, 3 to 6 years before you start fruiting, you can go into coconut seedling production. That is what people that can go into cultivation, what people that are ready to wait for next 4, 6 years, what they need before they can call themselves coconut farmers. You can be producing that. If you are producing coconut seedling, you just need between 6 and 9 months. You plant your seed nuts, and within the next 6 to 9 months, you harvest them and you sell them. That can attract youth. So you don't need to wait for years before you get into coconut value chain space. So that one is still in the realm of production. Though you are not establishing acreage of land, but you can produce what people that can do acreage of land, what they need. That is on that. Then for those people that are ready to wait, for those people that have enough patience, that have enough resources, coconut is the crop of today and the crop of future. Because when you plant coconut today, by the time you start harvesting coconut, you can get more than 300 products from coconut, which is very unique. You don't have much of cash crop that you can get much from that. So those are some of the things we are using to attract people into coconut space, that when you go into coconut plantation, you can get so many products from coconut. And even if you cannot go to coconut plantation, you can just go into coconut seedling production.
So the next question will be, how do you ensure smooth running of coconut processing in Lagos State?
Thank you very much. We ensure smooth running of coconut processing in the state by creating an enabling environment. And in creating an enabling environment, the approach of Lagos State government and LASCODA is to encourage the small scale processors. We are not thinking of having a gigantic factory, but the small-scale processors that have perfected the way they get their resources, we are working on upgrading them in terms of improving the standard, the quality of what they are doing. And that's why I said coconut, that's why I said capacity building. I'm happy to tell you that with our efforts, we have a lot of coconut processors in the state that are now exporting their coconut processed products outside the country, because we have guided them to be operating at certain standard. So apart from that, we also creating a living environment to the extent that we are creating market for them. We create market for them. We do a lot of linkages with them, with especially the industrial users of coconut oil and other coconut products. So we create market for them. So with that, we ensure that they are always in business.
Every layman will feel coconut. Why is it so important? Why should you have an agency for coconut production? How does it contribute to Lagos State GDP?
Thank you very much. I tell you, the attention is not on coconut because we don't see the economic opportunities in it. And that is one of the reasons why LASCODA, to open up the space. In Lagos State, the volume of trade of coconut that goes on daily is in hundreds of millions. There is no market in Lagos State that you don't see coconut. So when you are talking of the volume of activities, the transporter, the marketer, the consumer that goes on in our market from farm to the market before it gets to the respective consumers is in millions. I'm not talking of tens of millions, hundreds of millions daily. In Agbalata market in Badagry, daily there, when we did the last study, which we did in collaboration with FAO, the volume of business transaction that goes on there daily, that's just one market in Lagos State, is 200 million naira every blessed day, minus Sunday, that they don't do market. So when you see a value chain, that you see a volume of trade that is going into hundreds of millions daily, you should realize that definitely it will contribute to GDP of Lagos State.
For someone like me, I eat coconut with corn, but I don't know if there's anything attached to it, any benefit. And so many people will just love coconut because of the taste and everything. What benefits do we really get from coconut and its byproducts?
Thank you very much. Now, in terms of the benefits, truly, a lot of people eat the coconut and they don't even know the benefit. But I want to say authoritatively that we are not even consuming enough coconuts in the States, because coconut is not friendly to snacking. Unlike other fruits that you can buy in the traffic and consume them, when you think of before you eat coconut, you need to crack, you need to do so. It is not snacking friendly, unlike other foods. And that's why in 2020-2021, under this administration of Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, we came up with an initiative which we call a coconut bread. And the objective of that initiative was to ensure that more Lagosians consume coconut so as to tap the health benefits of coconut. because the adage says, healthy person is a wealthy person. We know that the more we have healthy Lagosians, the more we are wealthy. And because we know the coconut has a lot of health benefits, and our people are not consuming coconuts, so we now thought of how can we make more Lagosians to be consuming coconut, and that's why we introduced a coconut bread. And it's simple. The initiative was to encourage bakery to include coconut into bread making, into the bread production, without legislation. So we did that just by sensitization and showing the sample. We identified 10 bakeries across the state, and we trained them and we encouraged them, and they started. And that's why now, when you go to major coconut selling points in Lagos State, the selling point for coconut is either buy coconut bread or buy butter bread. It's as a result of what we did at the background.
Okay, the next question is going to be centered on opportunities embedded in coconut processing, and how do you expect, or how can young farmers tap into these opportunities?
Thank you very much. Like I said, there are many opportunities embedded in coconut value chain, particularly the processing aspect. When you're talking of processing aspect, the meat, that is the one we eat, that the one we consume, is one. The hard one, which we call coconut shell, is another one. The third one is the husk, that is the one, the outer layer, that is the husk. Those are the three aspects that I will encourage people to look into. But let me sound a note of warning. Coconut processing is technology driven. The more you deploy technology, the more you get more out of coconut. So for small scale homestead, I encourage us to go into the meat production aspect, the meat, coconut meat, that is the edible one. Because that edible one, you can get coconut oil, you can get coconut flour, you can get coconut milk, you can get coconut flake, you can get gurundi, you can get babadu, you can get so many things that are edible from coconut. And to go into any aspect of this, you just need very little capital. You need very little capital. So these are the three. We can go into that. For coconut shell, I've told us there are two major things that you can get there. You can turn it into what you call coconut charcoal or coconut briquette. Of course, you can also do this one at small scale. You can do it at small scale level. And if you have passion for art and craft, you can do a lot of things in terms of turning the waste, the shell, into things like this, into craft. You can, and some household things. These are the things you can use coconut. That also, you can do it on small scale. So the coconut shell and coconut meat, you can do it on small scale, that is processing of them, small scale to large scale. But when you are talking of coconut husk, that's the outer part. There's no way you can do it on small scale. You need a lot of technology to deploy into turning that coconut husk into industrial usage. There are two major things you get from coconut husk. You have the core and the fiber. Those are the two major things you get from coconut husk. And once you get to those two items from coconut husk, they are raw materials for industrial purposes. For example, the jute bag, you get it from coconut fiber. The jute bag that we use to export cocoa. The core, that is the primary raw material for cocoa peat. And you use the people for greenhouse farming. It is from the core that you get your cocoa pit. You cannot do greenhouse without coconut, without the coconut core, which is cocoa pit. So if you are an investor and you want to go into coconut, you want to come into coconut value chain sector, you can go into cultivation, that is big time or small scale. You can go into cereal production. And if you are talking of processing, you can go into processing of the meat, processing of the shell, and processing of the husk. Like I said, apart from the coconut husk that I want to advise you to do on small scale, other two, that's coconut shell and coconut meat, you can do on small scale to large scale. So the three major components of coconut as we see it are both for industrial and domestic processing. So we can go into any aspect of it and we make a lot of money. It's of great economic potential that we can make a lot of money from it.
What should Lagosians expect from the agency of LASCODA? And any closing remark that you have to say, sir?
Thank you very much. In the next 4 years, I'm happy to tell us that the collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, as well as UNIDO and Lagos State, which we call it Coconut Upgrading Strategy Project, is going to be a 5-year project, and we are starting now. That shows that in the next 4 years, that project will have a lot of interventions along the coconut value chain. The processors will benefit, the marketers will benefit, the people that are cultivating coconut will benefit. It's a key project and it's supported by international donor agencies. So negotiations should be expecting big things from the second coming of Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu when it comes to coconut value chain. My advice to negotiations in general is that coconut is our tree. When you look at the official crest of Lagos State, the two trees there are coconut trees. It's our heritage. You cannot complete the history of Lagos Island without mentioning coconut, and particularly Brazilian quarters. You have Burundi, you have Babadudu, you have a lot of things that are part and parcel of our diet. You cannot complete the history of Badagry without mentioning coconut. In fact, in Badagry, they call it aguke. It has become part and parcel of their culture. That is why I'm advising negotiations. Let us consume coconut because of the health benefits. Let us plant coconut in whatever space we have. Your backyard, anywhere you have. Once you have the space, just plant one coconut instead of planting just ordinary tree within your compound or on your farm. And let's invest in coconut negotiations. Like we have said, even if you cannot go into processing, you cannot go into production, you can go into marketing of coconuts. So the opportunities are there. So let's tap the economic potentials of coconut, the environmental potential of coconut, and health benefit of coconut. Coconut is our God-given heritage, and we must not allow it to die. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That will be all, sir. Thank you for coming to the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
And you're welcome.
Thank you for staying with us. I'm Jamel Abdullahi.